What is going on, everybody? Zyonik here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at one of the anti-meta picks, and that's going to be Gallade. Now, Gallade was brought to my attention by a member of the community named Valor Ash, who was at one time ranked #1 in the world, and currently I think he's sitting at 6, so this guy obviously knows what he's talking about, guys. He won his regional tournament. And he showcased Gallade in that regional tournament, so there's going to be a link down in the description to that video from Elite Four TV. Now, Gallade was completely off my radar. I didn't even think about it as a possibility, but the more I looked into it, I'm just like, ooh, it's good. Guys, it's scary good if you don't know how to handle it, and also if you just get it and don't know how to use it, it's not going to be as great. So this video, we're just going to dive into what it wins and loses against, so you guys have an idea of A, how to handle it when you see it at your tournament, because you'll see it at your regional tournament, and 2, if you plan on using it, how to win certain matchups, because it's not so cookie cutter as straightforward. If I shield, one time I automatically win. There are some key matchups that you do need to note. So, like always, guys, links, or not links, I should say, timestamps are going to be down below. So if you already know the matchups, you just want to watch the battles, you can jump forward to that, but we're going to dive into its matchups, and then we're going to dive into some battles, because I do have a Gallade that I can practice with. So I hope you guys enjoy, and if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the latest Pokemon Go PvP content. Without further ado, guys, let's get into Gallade for the Pokemon Go PvP Regional Tournament. Alright, guys, heading right over to pvpoke.com, where you guys can simulate battles for Pokemon Go PvP. This is going to be one of the greatest resources that you can use along with pokebattler.com, but we're taking a look at Gallade versus Skarmory. Now, as you guys can see at the top there, Skarmory is going to be a huge counter for a Gallade, and as we see, that Sky Attack going to be deleting it, and there's really not a lot of hope, but you can still hit a dent. So let's take a look at this one shield scenario. That close combat going to be doing 67 damage, so it's going to really take Skarmory down pretty low. If you can land that close combat. Now granted, it all depends on what the situation is in the battle, but ideally you want to aim to try to land a close combat, because the Leaf Blade won't be doing very much damage. Now, if we move over to another Pokemon we may see, Lugia. Lugia being definitely a dark horse that is very strong. If we change the move to the Psychic type, and we give it Hydro Pump, which is probably going to be the ideal moveset you're going to see. We see again that it locks down a Gallade. Now, this is different because with Skarmory you want to go for the close combat, but for Lugia you want to go for those Leaf Blades, because that's going to be doing some decent damage. So if you shield twice and the Lugia has no shields, you can win that trade-off, which is pretty cool. And if we take a look at Dragon Tail here, we're going to see that it's pretty similar in the matchups. Your only way you're going to win is in that 2-0 scenario, but Lugia still being a great counter for Gallade, because if you have a shield, you're good to go. Now, Azumarill, we move down to the bracket where it all depends on shielding. So the typical moveset you'll see, we see that Leaf Blade going to be doing 80 damage. That is quite a chunk, and this is where I mentioned that you need to know your key matchups in your shielding scenarios, because if you go for the 1-1, you're going to lose it because that Ice Beam. So if the Azumarill shields, because obviously you beat it to Leaf Blade, if you want to win, you're going to have to go into 2-shield scenario. Now granted, obviously this is with fresh fight, so everything could change based on the situation, but note that Hydro Pump, you can win the 1-1. So knowing what your opponent has, whether it be Play Rough Ice Beam or Play Rough Hydro Pump, can really turn the tide of battle, where you could win the 1-1 if the Azumarill is a Hydro Pump Azumarill. And you'll find that out basically with what move they go for first. So if they go for the Ice Beam, you know it's going to be a Play Rough Ice Beam. If they go for the Play Rough, you know it might be a Play Rough Hydro Pump. So if we head over to Melmetal, which is another Pokemon you guys are going to see, because for people who don't have Bastiodon, this is going to be a great option to cover some of those flyers. And as we see, close combat, 169 damage. It's going to delete a Melmetal. And this is why you need to know whether you're the Melmetal or you're the Gallade. You need to know your matchups because you can win the 1-0. And look how close, so you can get a close combat off by the time he gets a rock slide off, basically. So they may think it's a leaf blade and not shield, and then you just absolutely destroy them. So that's just something to note. Keep in the back of your head. So we're going to take a look at Metachan now. Gallade starting to really counter some of these key Pokemon, and we will take a look at them. So Metachan with the ideal moveset, we will see that it wins in all scenarios other than 2 shields. So that's something to note. If the Metachan is going to shield twice, you're going to lose. It's because that Confusion doing 14 damage and Leaf Blade doing 49 damage, as we see there. So it's going to really chunk away at a Metachan. So it's going to be a good counter. But if the Metachan has 2 shields, they're probably going to invest most likely in the 2 shields because people love keeping their Metachan alive. But Gallade can handle a Metachan. Now, if we take a look at, let's say, Venusaur. Venusaur being a very fun Pokemon to have for this tournament with that Frenzy Plant Vine Whip. But Gallade destroys it, guys. 24 damage on Confusion. As long as you shield the Frenzy Plant. If you don't shield the Frenzy Plant, you're dead. Right there, as we see. But as long as you use 1 shield, you will absolutely destroy the Venusaur, and that is because of pure Confusion. You don't need to use a charge move. You can just store all your energy, just Confusion it down, burn a shield. So that's Venusaur. Now, we take a look at something else like Bastiodon. You guys are like, really? Gallade versus Bastiodon? You know, it's so squishy and Gallade's such a tank. Well, let's take a look, guys. It gets to close combat before you can get to Flamethrower. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. It wins in all shielding scenarios, so as long as you mirror the shields, you're gonna win because you can bait on Leaf Blade and you can KO on close combat. You win the 0-0, the 1-1, and the 2-2. Not to mention you can just flat out win on just no shields needed with that surprise close combat. So as we see there, it's just, it's a massacre. And it's before Flamethrower, and the thing is people think close combat or the big heavy hitting charge move is gonna take longer than Flamethrower, but you get to it pretty quickly. So alright, Whiscash, another Pokemon you guys will probably see in your regional cup tournament. It can beat a Whiscash because Leaf Blade, 158 damage, guys. 158 damage. Now, the deeper you go into shields, the worse it gets for you because Whiscash is going to be generating so much energy, but if you can maybe shield 1, or just if you land a Leaf Blade, it's GG. You want to be going for Leaf Blades all day on Whiscash. Don't worry about close combat. Go for that Leaf Blade. It's going to be 4 times effective, and it's going to do just so much damage for so little energy cost. So you can win the 0-0, you can win the 1-1, but you're gonna tie, win, or lose depending on your stats on the 2-2. So that's gonna be really risky, but if you can land a Leaf Blade, guys, it's gonna be good to go. Alright, so finally, we got Haunter, another great Pokemon for this tournament, and we will see that Gallade deletes Haunter. 3 confusions, yeah. 3 confusions, no shields needed. Now, obviously, this is fresh fight. If a Haunter has a bunch of stored energy, it's going to be a different situation, but 35 damage per confusion. Now, he is going to do a ton of damage back to you. As you guys see, half the health gone. So basically, it's just a massacre. But getting into the first fight here of the battles, we're going to have Gallade versus Melmetal. And if we remember, he's going to be able to get off that rock slide before me, but then I'll be able to get off the confusion. So we're going to go ahead and shield the rock slide coming in here, and then we're going to go for that close combat. Now let's see if he shields, because if he doesn't, it's going to KO him. He does shield, so we're going to switch to Metachan now to soak this rock slide that he has coming in, and then we're going to get a few counters off real quick before he bails out of there. So then he bails into a Azumarill. So we're just going to go ahead and go with Power Up Punch now. Now, Power Up Punch not going to be doing a lot of damage to Azumarill, but the more Power Up Punches you do, the harder your counter hits. So I'm going to go ahead and not shield right here. It's going to be an Ice Beam. I'm going to be able to get off another Power Up Punch. And as you guys will see, the health will start really chunking away with these counters right here. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of damage. We get into the yellow. We get a third Power Up Punch. So let's see how much damage this does. That chunks it down pretty low. So without shielding there, we did a decent amount of damage. Now we're going to come straight into Melmetal. Going to be a great counter, but we're not going to shield because we don't need to shield in order to win this fight right here. Ice Beam not going to be very effective. We're going to go for that Rock Slide after storing just a little bit of energy. Two extra taps so that I can have stored energy for the next Pokemon coming in. So let's see what he decides to bring in. He decides to bring in his Melmetal again. So since we're ahead on energy and health, we're just going to go for this Rock Slide. It does burn the shield, but we're going to swap to Gallade because I want to store energy. He just burned his shield, so I'm going to use Confusion to store energy to basically try to delete the last Pokemon that he has, and it's Venusaur. As you guys see, Venusaur's health is completely disappearing. I go for the close combat. Granted, I could have gone for the Razor Leaf, but I just wanted to secure that KO. Now this is fine. Gallade can go down. Because we still have Melmetal with a ton of health, as you see. Even if he beats me to the Rock Slide, which I beat him first anyways, we would have been okay. So we just go ahead and finish off the first game. Alright, moving into the second game, we're going to lead with Gallade again, but this time he leads with Skarmory, so this is bad. We got to bail. Bail. We go into Melmetal so that he is now going to bail out of there. He brings in Medicham. We're going to go for the Thunderbolt here because we want to try to do as much damage as we can. So we go ahead and chunk off pretty much half of Medicham's health, which is perfect. So we're not going to shield here. We're going to go ahead and let the power-up punch come through. And then we're going to try to go for another Thunderbolt. Now, granted, I could have gone for a Rock Slide here to save on energy. We're not going to shield again because we're just going to barely survive. Get off this Thunderbolt. This is probably going to force the shield, which it does force the shield. Okay, very happy. Burned one shield, took out half the health. So we're going to go into Gallade next. We're going to let the timer go down. We're going to go into Gallade. We're going to shield whatever move he has coming in because he is powered up twice. So we are going to shield this, and then we're going to store energy for his Skarmory coming in because that would be the most ideal thing for him to do, right? So we have a close combat ready to go. We're seeing what he brings in. He brings in the Skarmory. We go for the close combat, and this is where not knowing how much damage things does. Look at that. Took off a ton of health. I tried to switch on the Medicham, but it didn't go through, so I had to do it again. We're going to go ahead and shield this Sky Attack and just KO the Skarmory with counter. Now, we get some lag here, and I don't want to blame the game on lag, but it could have gone either way. So we're against Venusaur. Obviously, Medicham with Ice Punch going to be able to delete Venusaur, but he does have a shield, so I'm just trying to bait his shield out. And then this is where lag starts coming in. So this is the first time lag comes in. He shields, and then I'm not attacking. And then I come into a charge move. So now he's doing a charge move on me, which, okay, fair enough. He deletes me. But we have Gallade now. Gallade, that Confusion, as you guys see, will delete. We go ahead and go for a Leaf Blade here to chunk it down. And then we get off another Confusion, and it does nothing. And then he does his charge attack. So, GG's. Very well played. Fun match, but I hope this helped. I hope this video helped you guys, and I hope you guys found it informative, and I hope you guys feel more at ease with how to handle a Gallade, because the Pokemon that you don't know how to handle are really going to be the crutches when it comes to your Pokemon Go PvP tournaments. So, be sure to hit that like button and comment down below and let me know what you guys think about Gallade. If you've seen Gallades, if you're going to use one, how you guys are going to handle it. And I wish you guys all the best of luck in your Regional Cup tournament. And like always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.